Welcome to Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guests from Pine Richland High School, the head football coach of the WPIL and state champions, Dr. Jon LeDonne. Coach, thanks for coming up here, and congratulations on a tremendous season.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's go back to the beginning. I come to your opening game with Pickerington out of Ohio. You get beat 45-0, and then you go in you beat Kiski 33-0. Then you go back to your old school, Penn Hills. You get beat 33-26, and then the last time you lost, we did the game on TV. You lost to Seneca Valley 13-3. Really, you looked like it was a physical mismatch. You had a -3 yards rushing. And I thought to myself, to be honest, I said, man, they're going to have trouble this year. They can't run the ball. Now, you tell me what happened when you went into your coaches meeting. What transpired, the changes you made, taking Ryan Palmieri, putting him at quarterback, which I call he's like a single wing dual threat quarterback. What happened in your meeting, and what were you thinking at this time when you started off 1-3?
After the Seneca Valley game, we lost our starting quarterback that started that game, Cannon Huffman, to a high ankle sprain right before the half, and then we brought a sophomore in, Vaughn Spencer. We weren't really productive offensively there. It was more of a defensive game, offensive struggle. But after that game, I came into the locker room and coaches were drawing some plays up for next week for Vaughn to get him going. And, I just made the decision we were going to move forward with Ryan at quarterback, open the offense up a little more, eliminate the tight end position. So we also at the same time made the decision to bring Brady Kerrigan down from tight end to offensive tackle as well.
Coach, it's your first year, so you're 1-3. Were you ever concerned that you could lose these guys with a 1-3 start?
No, I think the relationships that we built all off season from February to that time, we knew we were going to have some growing pains early on, just with guys getting comfortable in the new systems. We had a lot of young players on defense that were playing for the first time varsity football, and getting in on Saturdays after the games, correcting some mistakes. They knew we were only a couple plays away from being 3-1.
And your complementary football, Palmieri there, I call him old single wing. Your run pass option with Pillar at running back. Those two, what I think Palmieri ended up with over 1,800 yards rushing this year, and Pillar about 1,400.
Yeah, I think Ryan was up in 1920 some, and Pillar was close to 1,400 yards. So between the two, they racked up a lot of mileage this year.
And then your play action with your two wide receivers, Malice and Jelly, they were open sometimes, and Palmieri was right on target with them because everyone started to bunch up the line of scrimmage on you.
Yeah, we knew everyone was eventually going to start to key Ryan, and that opened some things up on the outside for the quick game and also the play action game. And Brad Gelly is just so fast. We knew that once we sucked them up, he would be behind them quickly, and Ryan made some awesome throws.
I think you got everyone's attention when you had the back-to-back games and you beat Central Catholic and you dominated North Allegheny. I mean, those are eye-opening games.
Yeah, I think at that point, everyone outside the locker room started to believe, like, hey, this team may be special.
So you go on this roll, you win 12 straight games, and you just matter of fact, when we get to our show after, when the guys come back, I'm gonna give a shout out to your offensive line. What a great job they did. You just controlled the trenches, and not to leave out your defensive front seven. How tremendous your play on both sides of the ball, the offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah, we talked about playing physical all year, and early on it took them a couple games to get used to each other. We had some injuries and some sicknesses, so we didn't have much consistency up front on the offensive line until about game 5 or 6. And defensively, we downsized, went for a little bit faster, more explosiveness on the front end, and it paid off.
Now you look at Palmieri and Pillar. Neither one of them are very, very big. Well, Palmieri looks like he's about 170, 175 pounds. Both of them got great strength after contact, yards after contact. Is this something that you coach, or just something that they have an innate ability?
Well, I think it's built in the weight room in the off season. Those two are some of our toughest players. They were wrestlers early on in their younger days, so they're just tough-nosed kids, and they definitely fall forward to finish the run.
So you win the WPL championship, and now you're headed into the state playoffs. And you had a big game. We said it would be a tough game, but Erie Cathedral Prep, and you had a really strong game against them.
Yeah, Cathedral Prep was off for several weeks before they played us, so we knew they were going to be healthy and eager to get after it. They jumped out on us early. Their guys were eager to play and get there. I think maybe we weren't ready for the game speed that they were bringing early on, and we did a heck of a job responding to that, fighting adversity, fighting back into the game, tying the game up, and then controlling the ball the second half.
And then you're in the state. Then you have Kokelico. We didn't know much about him. He had a really strong game against them. I think you beat him by 3 touchdowns. Now comes the championship game, Imhotep Charter. We knew you were going to face maybe the fastest team you played all year since maybe opening your game with the team from Ohio.
Yeah, our game plan was to just try to frustrate them early. We got a couple offsides penalties on them on defense, long counts, motions, try to confuse them a little bit. But at the end of the day, we just went downhill right at them. Not many teams tried to run right at them. We knew we weren't going to outrun them side to side or get behind them much. And defensively, our goal was just to keep them in front of us.
And I'm amazed. Your team just you had a first and goal with the 1 or 2, and you ended up not scoring. And I'm thinking, is this going to hurt them? But your team just fluffed that stuff off and came right back.
Yeah, I think in that first half we had 2 drives that we got down inside the 2-yard line and didn't get any points on. So, we went in at the half 7-7, had 2 other possessions that we could have got points off from. We thought we were kicking their butts up front, and it just didn't show on the scoreboard. And then we came out in the second half and executed.
Well, Coach, you have now 2 WPL championships, 1 at Penn Hills, 2 state championships, 1 at Penn Hills, and, of course, here at Pine this year. What's the difference between the 2? When you think about it?
I think the biggest difference is to be able to share this with the community that I live in. I know a lot of the parents, a lot of the younger kids, so there's just excitement throughout the whole community. We did a lot of investment in the Penn Hills community as well, but we weren't as linked to that community.
When you think about what you've done these last few years, what are you most proud of?
Just the opportunity to get back to the kids. Assemble a great coaching staff that the players look up to and serve as role models for our players.
Having coach when the season's over, and even if you have a so-so year or you win a championship, about a week or 2 later, you start thinking about next year. So where are your thoughts coming in for next season?
Well, our weight room coordinator, Coach Guffey, wanted to get the guys in the weight room this week, and I told him we need to give them a couple weeks off. But, we're eager to start the off season. We think we have a lot of young players that are ready to step in important roles for us next year and just get them going.
I know you have some outstanding players like your offensive lineman, Corey. He's drawing a lot of Division I attention. And what about some of your seniors like Paul Mary? Any particular schools interested in them?
After Friday's performance, seeing what he could do against Power 5 competition, we've had a lot of Patriot League type schools in this last couple days here expressing interest in him reaching out. So we're just excited to see where it goes over the next couple weeks.
Well, Coach, you did a great job. It was exciting to see how maybe a record in the WPAL. I don't remember in all the years I've been involved a 1-3 team coming on, not only winning a WPL, but winning a state championship, 12 straight wins. Congratulations to you and your staff and your team on just a fantastic season.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we look forward to getting back there next year. And the only thing we could say, we televised your game, your last loss, so I don't want to duplicate that next year. Hey, Coach, thanks a lot for coming here. Have a great year.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll be right back with Ellen George.
No one plans for a plumbing emergency. If it happens, turn to the experts at Armstrong Comfort Solutions. Matt Mertz Plumbing is now part of the Armstrong Comfort family. Do you have a leaking pipe, a toilet backing up? When you need a plumber, you want an honest, licensed professional. We're available 24/7. Our plumbing experts can handle any need or emergency, including trenchless sewer replacement. Armstrong Comfort Solutions and Matt Mertz Plumbing, two great local companies coming together to better serve Western PA.
Armstrong has a long history of fighting food insecurity in our communities through breaking bread. We're excited to announce the results of our 5th annual Avenge Hunger Month. Armstrong raised over 19,000 pounds of food and over $14,000 in donations, along with 96 hours of volunteer service. Avenge Hunger Month proudly benefits over 200 feeding programs throughout our entire service area. Visit armstrongonewire.com/breakingbread to find a list of community feeding programs in your area.
I'm back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left the Tiger Albert Campman. Guys, let's go to honors and achievements under spotlight. Knock grad Kennedy Christie, who led Knock to WPIAL and PIAA volleyball titles, added more gold to her resume in leading Juniata to the Division III Women's Volleyball National Championship. Christie, a junior outside hitter, was 4th on the team with 261 kills and 2nd with 59 aces.
One of the things that pops in my mind, Eddie, when you say that, and George and I have talked about this previously, I think we've talked about it, Eddie. I think if I'm a college coach and I'm recruiting, one of the check marks I would have was I'm going to recruit somebody who's won.
Yes.
It's hard to, somebody's, and I know they have talent at 0-10,
Yeah.
but they have no idea how to win. That girl's won.
She knows how to win.
And
we've done games with
I
her.
remember her.
Yeah.
She was really good.
Nasty.
So you get
Absolutely.
talent
Nasty
plus
on
know how
the
to
kill.
win.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
that's winners.
Yes.
That's why I get so upset when they act like it doesn't matter. It matters.
Yeah, it does.
And hats off to the Pitt women's volleyball team. They advanced to the Final Four with a 3-2 upset win over defending champs Wisconsin in Madison. Next up for number 6 Pitt, they take on number 2 Louisville. They split during the regular season in the ACC. Louisville's only loss. They did beat Pitt 3-0 at Louisville. And Louisville's Paige Morningstar from North Allegheny. She's a 6-foot redshirt freshman setter for the Cardinals. In the other bracket, it'll be San Diego and number 1 Texas. Exciting. Pitt's volleyball, women's volleyball, they are the winningest sports program at Pitt.
Absolutely.
And I've seen film clips of Morningstar in high school killing the ball over there.
Yeah.
And she's a setter in college.
Yes,
Red
6
shirt.
foot.
Red shirt.
Hey, Wisconsin,
best.
I watched the Wisconsin Pitt ball. Wisconsin had a player, she had to be 6'7" or 6'8". I don't know if you watched it.
No, I've
But the
seen
battle between the two,
Yeah.
it went back and forth,
Oh,
It was so close,
awesome.
and that Pitt won that
They
5th set.
smacked that ball.
Oh, my God,
No,
they're
you know
so
what?
good.
We've talked about. You remember we had the Tuman girl, Al. She's a setter,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Right.
and she is really.
Well, they've already beaten Louisville. So
They
they're-
beat them 3-2
So it isn't
at
like
Pitt.
they're afraid to
But
play.
And
see what happened the
they
other
lost.
time.
I know, but
at
still.
Louisville, they got swept
Why can't they do
3-0.
well, so why
They
can't they do
could
it one
do
more
it. They
time?
could
Yes,
do it.
They could be.
Yeah.
Hey, Slippery Rock High School senior libero Virginia Recchia. She was named District 10 Region 3 Volleyball Player of the Year. And BC3 volleyball players Morgan Jack and Aslan Pry, they've been named to the 2022 National Junior College Athletic Association All-American Team. And Butler Junior Drew Griffith, he placed 8th at the Champs National Championship High School Cross Country Race in San Diego, California.
Wow.
How about that? You're in high school
Eighth.
and you're
Yeah.
traveling. You're in San Diego running a race out there. How
Jeez,
fantastic
that's how
is that?
fantastic
And it's a
it
big
is.
country. Eight is
Yes.
quite impressive.
Hey, our basketball leading scorers, 20 or more points. Boys, Madden Clement of Butler, 33. Tassos Savanas Mars, 31. It's the 3rd time he's gone over 30 this year. Braden Littlejohn of Butler, 22. Tate Bailey of Carn City, 22. Dean Fuhrer of Freeport, 22. Elijah Adams of Summit Academy, 20. Max Hurry of North Catholic, 20. Freshman Donovan Carney of Butler, 20. Ryan Say of Mars, 20. And for the girls, Justine Forbes of Butler, she had 20 also. We're underway. Basketball rolling. Let's go to our stories of the week, and we start with high school football. Just had Pine Richland head football coach Jon LeDonne on. Just great to have him on. You know, he's one of the he doesn't act like he's achieved anything. He's very humble. He's now won 2 WPL championships, one at Pine, one at Penn Hills, and a state championship at each school. So Pine Richland, the last time they lost, we did the game. They lost 13-3 to Seneca Valley, starting off the season with a 45-0 loss to Pickerington of Ohio, 33-26 loss to Penn Hills, and then that loss, they were dominated physically by Seneca Valley. 12 straight wins, WPL and state champs. I don't know in the 17 years we've done the show that we've ever had a team turn the season around like that, have we?
No, and that's why I give him Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
I like hearing better how humble he is.
Yeah,
that's
very humble.
That's even better that he realizes the players did it. But that moving Paul Mary to quarterback, one of the greatest moves I've ever seen since we've been on the show.
Yeah, and I asked him about that, and after they lost to Seneca Valley, their quarterback Huffman got hurt, serious injury, high ankle sprain, and so he had to make a decision. So he put Paul Mary there at the
wow.
What do you call him? The quarterback position, single wing,
right?
The run pass options and his ability to throw the ball. They had two outstanding receivers in Ethan Pillar. Together, those two guys ran for 3,300 yards. And
you can see my mouth's agape.
Yeah.
The reason my mouth's agape, there's a good chance that young man doesn't get hurt. Paul Mary never goes to quarterback.
Right. It doesn't happen.
They're 5-5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think of that.
And not only are they the WPL champs, they're our team of the area.
Yeah.
They beat Central Catholic and North Allegheny.
Yes, they did.
Back-to-back games.
And they don't go down there and gag. A lot of teams get down to those Philly teams and gag.
And I
They
said to
do
the
not.
coach, they started in the championship against Imhotep Charter, who they beat 28-14. They get down and have a 1st and goal to 1 and come away with nothing. A lot of teams would have crumbled.
Right.
Twice in the red zone, they didn't score, but they went on to win 28-14. Paul Mary rushed for 184 yards. He becomes the third quarterback to lead them to a state title behind Danucci and Phil Jacoby. Wow. Pretty nice company.
Jeez.
That's their third state title for them. And hey, I'm going to give hat off. I watched that game. Their offensive line and defensive lines.
Yes.
Offensive line, Ryan Corey, Jacob Beam, Smith, Isaiah Kearns, Graham, and Brady Kerrigan. What a great job they did. They opened huge holes for them. And their defensive front, he went to a quicker front, he told me. They put more pressure on the quarterback, and that's Ryan Corey and Hazley, Rottinghouse, Perry, and the linebackers, Max and Sam Heckert and Sermonera and Johnson. They just did a great job.
Well, I know this. That was a great job you just did, because there is no chance for any team to win football games. Zero
Without those
chance
guys.
without those guys. See,
Yeah.
we all hear about Tom Brady, and we all hear about,
Yeah,
watch when Brady's on his back, how he looks.
right. They
How
all
do you
look the
look
same.
Sunday? How do you look Sunday?
I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
thank you, Eddie,
Yeah.
for bringing those names up.
Yeah, I
Congratulations.
wanna
That is
salute
so
those
awesome. Oh, I
kids.
want to salute them too.
Another thing too, the talent there. You look at that, and a lot of times, as you say, the coach is humble. He realizes that a jockey's never won without a horse
Never.
underneath.
Well, I said to him, I said, Coach, were you worried at 1 of 3 losing your team? He said, no, I felt I had a good relationship with the kids.
Well, I know this one. That thumbs up not only to the staff but to the kids, because in today's world, when you're used to some coaches,
They start hearing the noise.
Oh yes, at home,
The
and in the
parents,
streets.
everyone- yeah.
Don't think they're not hearing.
And they
Yeah.
said, "Listen,
Yeah.
we know what's going on here in practice.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this thing done right." I'm appreciative
And I'll
of
tell you,
that.
playing that tough schedule early doesn't hurt you.
No.
Not one
They,
bit.
elsewhere in the PIAA 2A, Southern Columbia 37, Westinghouse 22. Great year for the Bulldogs, 14-1. They were in that game the whole
And
way.
one thing, Southern Columbia, don't tell me a noose doesn't offend people. You want to make a
Yeah,
lot of
I'm gonna
claims,
bring
this
that
and
up.
that. Don't tell me a noose offends everyone.
And before I get to that, Bell Vernon 9, Newman Goretti 8. And sadly, these two games marred by racially charged and offensive videos by students. I don't know about players from Southern Columbia and Bell Vernon. The PIAA has ordered investigations with possible penalties coming. I just feel so bad for these Westinghouse players for how well they did to be subjected to
Well,
this.
the coach said he didn't hear a thing in the field, though.
Didn't hear a thing in the
And
field.
here's my thing. how responsible is the school for idiot fans?
Well, once you put those videos out there, they're out there,
That's
and
right.
it gets back to those players. You can only imagine how they felt. It's a shame.
No, it's just disgusting.
It's disgusting.
And anybody in this country that does anything like that's disgusting. I'll call you out on it. God made everybody equal and loves each and every one of us. I just can't grasp that somebody down below has taught them this. But as George made the point,
where'd it come from?
Yeah, it has to come from somebody. You're not born hating anything.
Yeah,
right.
But I'm saying George made a good point.
Run the kids.
This has nothing to do with the team. It's some idiot out there on
Yeah.
Twitter or some
Anonymous.
Both coaches,
Yes.
Southern Columbia and Donta Green, they were very complimentary of one another. And
Right.
the
That's what I'm saying.
The star running back from Southern Columbia said, "That's the best team we've played in years." And so it's good to see that. But I just can only imagine what some of those Westinghouse players
I
felt by
know.
seeing that stuff.
Southern Columbia coach said something really cool. He said, we have been beaten by teams. They're not as good as this.
Not
one."
as good.
He said that. Yes, that was awesome.
Hey, moving on to the NFL, Ravens 16, Steelers 14. The Ravens, like we talking about, they controlled the trenches.
That's what they do.
It wasn't like they make like this was such a close game. I didn't think it was. They ran for 215 yards, 5.1 average. The Steelers ran for 65, a 3.2 average. They stuffed Najee Harris, 33 yards on 12 carries.
Let me ask you guys,
Yeah.
real quick. When you watch Jacobs for the Raiders,
Yeah.
do you see Najee?
No, Najee's not as good. It's really simple.
No.
Yeah,
He's not as good.
Jacobs breaks a lot of
I
tackles.
not
figured
as
the
good.
line might have something to
He's
do
not
with
as
it.
good.
Sure, it doesn't
On
look
this
like-
show, put our show back on. We said it was the worst game. You don't take a number one. You don't take a running back.
Especially when you need linemen.
In the first one, you need linemen.
Absolutely.
Yep. We're going to get to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're here. Hey, Trubisky came on, 276 yards. He did throw 3 interceptions. The one interception by the linebacker Smith was a great defensive play. The other one, I really don't fault him. He was trying to hit Pickett in the end zone for a score. The other one was a bad interception, but at least he was being aggressive going downfield. But look, guys, they talk about the Steelers' run defense. The last 2 games between Atlanta and this game, they've given up 361 yards rushing. Next up, they have Carolina, who rushed for 237 yards against Seattle. It's going to be another long day.
But what I say about this one, Eddie, and I look the other way. If you give 16 points up,
Should win.
you should win. See, the object in pro football is not to stop run or
But
pass.
they stink in the red zone.
But yeah, you got. But no, they offensively they do. But you have to stop people in the red zone. 16 points. You should win a college football game, a high school football game. If you hold somebody to 16.
Well, here's the other question I'm going to have. What Baltimore? They gave Dobbins the ball 15 times for 120 yards, 8 average. Why'd they quit running the ball a couple of times? They'd run for 8, 9 yards, then they'd throw a couple passes. And they went through a third-string quarterback. Why would you even have him throw the ball? I just don't understand it. Well, the rest of the division, you have Baltimore 9-4, Cincy 9-4, the Steelers and the Browns at 5-8.
But we thought it would be the beginning of the year.
Yeah. If
Seriously,
they
that's
go
what I thought.
7-10 or 8-9,
That's what I thought they'd be
That's-
this year.
about what you
Oh
thought.
no,
I
I
didn't-
did.
what we thought.
No question. We said it at the beginning of the show. I think that's the exact record you called for them. Your record, you said 7 or 10 or 8 or 9, and that's where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
But
see
they're
what
not
happens.
awful.
Oh no, they
But
can turn
they're
next
certainly-
year if they get a couple free
they're-
agents.
yeah.
If they can, I don't know what their schedule.
Yeah.
If they get it,
They
they
have
can
money. Cap's going up.
They could easily because they've been in games they've lost too. That's like
In
that
our
deal.
next show, we're going to play. If I were the Steeler general manager, what will you do next year? Hold on for that. We've run out of time for this one. We'll see you next week.
We're proud to announce that in 2022, Armstrong has been named Cablefax Independent Operator of the Year for the second time. We'd like to thank all of our employees for contributing to our success, and a big thank you to our customers for their continued support.